Hi, this is Lynsey of stitchesbylynsey.com, and we were having a discussion on CompusewwithJan Yahoo Group about buttonholes, how to space them easily. One lady, Angela, wrote in that she did it at her machine, and I responded by saying you can also do that in the software. Group members wanted me to show them how in 6D, and that's what this little lesson is about. I'm in 6D Embroidery Extra, as you can see at the top of the screen. And the first thing I want to do is set the size of my squares. So I go into View, and the grid is set at 10 millimeters. You can break that down and have it be low millimeters, but I prefer it at 10. Just helps me measure a little more easily. I'm really not that comfortable with the metric system, but I'm learning slowly. I know that 25 millimeters is approximately 1 inch. So a little over 10 millimeters would be ½ an inch. You need to measure the size of your button. I recommend taking a piece of fabric or measuring tape and wrapping it completely around the button so that you can see how big your button is. If you've purchased a button and it's on cards, they usually give you the millimeter size as well as the inch. So once you know the size of your buttonhole that you need to make, you can go in and choose Super Design, Category, Buttonholes. Now you can see many different buttonholes here, but that's only the first line. I usually use a simple buttonhole, and that would be this one, which I will show you pictures of next, that I used on a pillow. For this exercise, we'll use buttonhole number 6 in Buttonholes 2, and I'll show you how to get rid of what you don't like if you just want plain buttonholes. Click Apply. Now the size, 30 millimeters, so you know that's about 1 1.25 inches. If you hover your mouse over the size, it also comes up in inches. That certainly should help you regardless of which measuring system you use. I'm just going to stick with the 30 millimeters for now and click Apply. The next thing I want to do is zoom in on this buttonhole because I would like to get rid of the scroll. Go into the Edit tab and click on Box Select and draw your box down around just the area that we don't want. And you can click on Delete on your keyboard or this red X, Delete, and it's gone. So all we have now, if I zoom to fit, is one buttonhole. The next thing we want to do is decide what hoop we're going to stitch this out in. I usually go for one of the largest hoops I have. Into View and change my hoop. That's universal. I have FOF Creative Vision, and I don't want to use the Grand Dream hoop for this exercise, but I could still make buttonholes for that size, the 360, just by clicking my Creative Deluxe hoop. I want it in the horizontal position. Okay. Here you see we have our single buttonhole. For the pillow that I had created, a closure in the back, I used a fancier buttonhole. That's also in the software. But all I did was go into Encore and check on the line, because I just want a line of buttonholes, not a circle or a shape. And I decided I only wanted 3 buttonholes. So I put on 3, and I'll have to slide my screen a little bit. I'm going to click on Preview. And before I click on Apply, which will be off screen, I want to show you the entire hoop here. I just click on this little square and move it apart. Now, how far apart you want it is really up to you. If you want more buttonholes, just click on Cancel under the preview, and you can add another buttonhole and do the whole thing. It's really quite simple. And if you're math challenged as I am, it makes the job a whole lot easier. Now, that being said, I usually do a sample. I just take a scrap of fabric that will fit that size and temporarily adhere it to my stabilizer, which is hooped, and then stitch out these buttonholes as a gauge for myself. Slit one of the buttonholes, make sure the button will slide through it more easily, and if it doesn't, I go all the way back to square one in selecting and sizing the buttonhole. But that's really all there is to it. Once you've decided that, yes, that's the spacing I want for my buttonholes, you just click on Apply. You can save it, export it. And by exporting, you will be exporting for your machine. So let's just go through that. Export. I have VP3 is my format, but you may choose any one of these depending on what your machine takes for designs. I use the combine, overlap. I leave all of these checked and just say OK. Go into options, check what you want to do. I usually leave mine just on low for stitch removal sensitivity, and the minimum stitch length is 0.8. These are buttonholes, so they do have tiny stitches. And just say OK. Some people elect to use their cutwork needles. I don't bother with that. I have a little tool that just looks like a chisel, and I pound it once in the middle of the buttonhole and it's split open. Say OK. OK. Now it asks where I would like to store it. I usually put it on my desktop, and I'm just going to name this 60 buttonhole port. I hope this has shown you what you can do and how easily you can make buttonholes in the hoop. I also wanted to say that even if I was doing this on a small garment, like a child's garment, I would also use the largest hoop I have, just so that I could affix the garment in position exactly where I wanted it without having it interfere with the rest of the machine while it is stitching. That's it for buttonholes in 6D.